Hey folks, welcome back to another match from GDI. Today I'm bringing you one in my T71, which is a Tier 7 American light tank. Uh, it's very much a scout tank. It does have an autoloader, but you shouldn't pride yourself on that. It only has 175 millimeters of penetration and very little alpha damage. So really it's kind of like, killing other scout tanks or when you just so happen to get behind vehicles. I did have a match yesterday where I've flanked a Tiger P, which is also a Tier 7. Got him knocked out, scouted an IS, and then opened up an entire flank where the only thing there was a T28 prototype, and he was so far ahead that my teammates couldn't shoot at him. So I circled him by myself and killed him. It took me like 3 clips to do it, but I did it without him being able to shoot back at me. So, I mean, it can do its thing, but you shouldn't expect to go into a match and just be slinging damage and slinging shells. Expect more times than not to scout and fire like maybe 2 penetrations and get like 300 damage. That's what you should expect. So here I'm trying to crest this hill. I want to spot as many people as possible, which accounts to 1 T54. So now alright, I want to kill this AMX. And wait a second, I can't fire. When I record replays, I remap my fire key, which is a space button, a space bar. And this is my first match after recording the replay, and I couldn't fire back because I forgot to remap it. I do use the space bar as a fire key because, as you've noticed, my E50 and E50M were, I played quite a few matches in those. Pat and tank, even occasionally I'll snipe in that thing. But for when I'm sniping at long ranges, I've found that when I click the mouse button, when that's the default fire key, it'll move the mouse, and even if it moves it like a fraction of a centimeter, it'll throw off my aim, and it'll make the shot go entirely too wide, even out of my aiming reticule sometimes. So I remapped it as a space bar, so that way when I fire, the mouse doesn't move at all. And, I've gotten used to it at this point, and I actually like it. It took me a little bit when I first remapped it to get used to that. I was clicking the fire key, or the left mouse button. I'm like, why the fuck am I not firing? But anyway, so right there I was remapping it, and here I make a mistake. Instead of backing straight down, I try to turn down. Because the way I like to play this tank is go full speed up a hill, and then as I'm getting to the top of the hill, as I'm cresting it, I'll be turning and going back down. So I'll spot anybody at the top when I get to the top of the hill, and I'll be immediately going back down the hill at full speed. So anybody that's looking at me or tries to look at me or tries to aim at me, they'll only have a fraction of a second to do it, and then I'll be down the hill before they can even put their gun on me. So here I want revenge on the AMX. And right as I'm about to get the kill, the M60 sits in my way. Thank you, M60. Because he shot me when I wasn't... I didn't have my fire key mapped. Son of a bitch. So here I'm, I am cresting the hill a little bit longer than usual. I wanted to get a little bit more spotted. T54 is gone. So these IS-7s are the only thing up here, and I got to be mindful of that. But I do want to get closer because I want to see what else is down here, and they're on the other side of the hill, so I can do that. There's one. SU-100M1. And he's about to go. There's one shot. And he couldn't last for much longer. There he goes. There's one IS-7. So, as you can see, I crested the hill, full speed, and then I turned back down. So they couldn't shoot at me if they tried. So I'm going all the way back, making them think I'm retreating. As soon as I drop off their map, I'm going to come back around and do it again. I want them to be lit up at all times. Even if they're not shooting, it helps my team to know where they are on the map. So, so the problem with this tank, and I don't even realize that I fired 2 shots and didn't reload, and I wish I did. So I'm coming down this map, or this side of the map. I didn't realize SU-100 was dead. I want to come back and kill him. And so I'm looking for the SU-100, which is dead. And then, uh-oh. Didn't find the SU-100, but look what I did find. This bad news. And he wastes a shot on me. What a moron. Here I'm thinking, he's not even turning. I want to kill this guy. I can't penetrate his front or even his side probably, but I can definitely penetrate his rear. He's trying to ram me from the rear. I don't know if he did or not, because I got hit at the exact same time by Navarone because I'm being an idiot. Which I finally repair my tracks because I don't want to sit here and die for him. But somebody kills him right as I'm repairing. So Artie hits me. And now he's turning because the Batchet is trying to flank him. And he makes the Yak Panzer 100 look at me. An idiot. He's not a very good player. I'll just say that. T-34 nails me, hits my tracks, thank God. But I also have him spotted, so bad move, T-34. So against all odds, I'm still alive. Now time to go hunt for Artie. Where is he? Oh, he's in the corner. I had to be very close to spot him. Val's almost trying to close. Batty Batchet tries to steal my kill and rams into his corpse. Douche. But anyway. So we won anyway. One tank left and he's getting swarmed. I wanted to join the swarm, but I didn't make it. So now for a little post-game analysis. We can see I got 1,620 undoubled for and a sniper. Let's look at some damage. So actually I have this sorted based on experience and not damage. As I said, now I have this sorted based on experience and not damage. Because, well, this is a tier 10 match. I'm a tier 7 scout tank in a tier 10 match. I'm not going to do as much damage as some of these other tanks. But I did do top experience, which is not surprising. Well, let's sort on damage, just for the fun of it. So, I didn't do in the top half of the team. Clearly, I mean, it's a T71. It's a scout tank. Not expecting to win a tier 10 match. But look at some of the tanks that did worse than me. The 4502, the T54 E1, the E75. Come on, guys. Pull your head out of your ass. But look at some of their tanks that didn't do anything. E100 wasn't on my flank. T54, he died. Partially because of me. 1390 died because he's an idiot. So SU-100 M1, that was my scouting. So, just because you're in a tier 10 match, especially if you're in a scout tank, if you're in a tier 8 super Pershing, which, alright, that doesn't get into a tier 10 match, bad example. But if you're in say a Pershing tank, and you get stuck in a tier 10 match, don't despair. But in this case, even less so because you're a scout tank. Just do your job and you'll do alright. Because, as I said, I did alright. I did top experience. And you should expect to if you have a decent team. And I'll get more into that in a second. So, I only fired 10 shots, 9 hits, 8 penetrations. So, as I said, don't pride yourself on the gun. The gun isn't where it's at. The mobility and scouting is where it's at. And I think mobility more over the scouting. Well, they go hand in hand. I'll talk about that more in a second as well. Oh, so much to talk about. My feelings and what my favorite color is. Alright, I'll stop. But I did 3,800 spotting. So that's where it's at. Just do your thing. Let your team try to help you out. They won't always help you, but as long as they're spotted, even if you're not getting credit for it, and you're not getting these spotting damage, at least they know where they are, where the enemy is on the map. And if they don't want to take advantage of you spotting them and shooting them, or take advantage of you spotting them and knowing where they are on the map, well then, all you can say is I did what I could do. I did my best possible job. That's all you can say. So we can see it was, as I said, it was a 1620 times 1, no event, so it's full 1,620, which I thought this was a phenomenal match. And well, I gotta tell you more about that. And well, this is the end, so end of the stats. So I'll tell you now. Other than the, so we see it was. Oh, I do have one more thing. 34,000 credits. We see in the match that I do use a small and a large repair kit. I don't use a fire extinguisher because if you get caught on fire in this tank, you're out of the game pretty much, because your engine's going to be destroyed, and that's your strength, is your mobility. So you might as well just give up. So, I mean, the large repair kit, on the other hand, if, say, for example, there's ever a situation where you feel like, you know, maybe your tracks you could let them repair on their own. It does boost your repair speed. So that's why I use that. I did use both of them in that match. I used my large repair kit and my small repair kit, both for my tracks. I think the large repair kit was kind of a waste, but it did give me an extra kill on the arty. You know, so I thought they were going to be looking at me and getting another kill off me, so that's why I used my large repair kit the second time. But anyway, now I'm going to tell you what I think about the tank, and it's kind of a mixed bag. It's a very, very good tank. I love the tank. It's great, very fast. The autoloader comes in very handy when I can get around certain tanks and flank them. As I said, I can kill entire tanks by myself because I can move faster than they can around their turret, and faster than them backing up and moving forward and all that other garbage to try to avoid scouts that are flanking you. I can do that faster. I can move faster than they can do any of that. And I can kill entire tanks by myself, provided that nobody else is shooting at me. And I've done it. The T28 prototype video, or replay that I mentioned, my team lost that, so I won't be showing you that one. They had 3 tanks on cap, and we had 5 tanks looking at them on cap, and nobody would reset them. Yeah, so I won't be showing you that replay. The drawbacks to this tank, it does have 175 millimeters of penetration and very low alpha, but as I said, don't pride yourself on the gun in this tank. It's all about scouting. But the other drawback is I found it doesn't have a very good passive, it's not a very good passive scouter. I tried that the first couple matches that I got in this tank. Tried to sit in bushes and tried to let the other team come up to me. And, you know, in a sense it works. I can spot them, but they spotted me right back for, I don't know how and why, but they spotted me right through the bushes, and so I don't even bother doing it anymore. As you've noticed, that entire match, I was mobile the entire time, other than remapping my fire button, because I'm an idiot. Yeah, so I like to play this tank entirely mobile. Go full speed up a hill, crest it. As soon as I get to the top, I'm already turning back down, going full speed down, so they can't shoot at me if they tried. And it keeps me alive a lot of the time. So that's the way I like to play it. I had to train a fresh crew for this tank. The T71 is the first tank in the line that I've played. I used free experience all the way up the line. Cost me about 130,000 free experience total before I got this tank. So yeah, it was a little bit expensive, but I didn't want to play any of their tanks. This was really the first tank in the line that I wanted to play. So I didn't have a fresh crew for it. So this crew that I have on it now, as the gunner and the driver are at about 80% brothers in arms, and the commander is about 80% on mentor. I do train mentor on the commander, and I'm going to retrain him on brothers in arms once he gets to 100%. But I only do that on the main grinds. So my Patton, I was doing it, but I've retrained my Patton commander to do something else now other than mentor. I don't waste gold on tanks that are not my main grind. And on top of that, I only waste gold on the commander. As I've said, my gunner and my driver are both training brothers in arms right now. I won't retrain a skill to a perk for anybody that's not the commander. And the only reason I do that is because the commander can do mentor. So that's the only reason I even do it on the commander. But in any case, I don't have camo on the crew members on this tank, which is what I wish I did have. I don't have it, so that probably kills my passive scout abilities a little bit. But it's okay. As I said, this tank is very fast, very small, and I can scout crest a hill and come back down before anybody can shoot back at me anyway. So that's very useful in its own right. Yeah, so it's a very good tank in my opinion. The problem with this tank, and this is a 1,620 experience match, which is pretty good. It's pretty good for, especially the scout tank. It's pretty good in a tier 10 match, no less. The issue that I have with it is if your team, as I said, if your team doesn't want to take advantage of your scouting, take advantage of players that you have scouted and shoot at them, and they don't want to take advantage of players that are scouted and know where they are on the map and pay attention to that and be mindful of that, then you're not going to do well in this tank. Doesn't matter if you scout to the best of your abilities and I've done it. The entire match, I'm cresting hills, scouting, keeping players lit, nobody shoots at them. I'm keeping players lit and nobody pays attention to where they are. And they all get flanked and like, oh, this noob team. Well, if you paid attention to the map, idiot. And that's kind of the problem. This tank is not a carry tank. Obviously, it's not a carry tank. It's a scout. So that's the issue. If nobody wants to take advantage of it, you won't do well. I don't even know. It frustrates me. It's matches that I've done. I'm so impressed with myself with how well I'm scouting, and nobody cares. Nobody shoots at them. Nobody pays attention to where they are, and the team just loses miserably because of it. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. If you don't get a team that is halfway decent, you're not going to do well in this thing, and that's the problem. No matter how good you are, you could be a Unicum player, over 2,000 WN7, and you could be scouting to the best of your ability. You can have the best match that you've ever had as a scout. If your team doesn't pay attention, you're going to lose the match, and you're probably going to get like 500 experience, or less than that, because it's going to be a loss. You'll probably get like 200 experience, despite the fact you played the best match you've ever played. It's just the nature of the tank. You have to have a team that pays attention and takes advantage of your scouting. If you don't have people that take advantage of you, you will lose. And I got to stress that. I keep stressing it, and I'm going to continue to stress it because it's just, that's the way it is. It's so frustrating, and don't play this tank if you don't, if things like that are going to annoy you. Personally, myself, I'm probably going to start grinding free experience, and once I get enough to get the T69, I'm going to stop playing this tank. I'll keep it because, as I said, it's a very good tank, but it's, you got to have a team that takes advantage of it. All right, I'll stop. I've said it enough. Yeah, so a pretty good tank, in my opinion, overall. Just, have a good team. So anyway, that's it for today. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about subscribing. Check out my other videos. Write me a comment below. Tell me what you like about the T71, what you don't like. Tell your friends. Check out my videos. I got a lot of other good content coming. And a lot of other good content. Yeah, I have a lot of good other comment. A lot of other good content on my video. So check all that out. But until next time, you guys take it easy.